The Creative Collective is a networking group for creative businesses. And this is their podcast.
Episode 27.
It's far too complicated.
Oh, the other thing I've thought about is
We're recording, but we are recording.
We're recording. Well, we don't know what sequence this is going to be. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh well. We'll have to do it like this now. We'll make it work. Anyway, episode 27. Straight in. Here we go. How do we manage our mental health within, I suppose, our lives, but also our business? Nearly just took the whole thing off the table there with my hands, my jazz hands. So, where do we want to start? Should we start with how your mental health can be affected by your business, and then see where we go?
Pressure from all angles.
Oh, that's a cracking start.
And we spoke about it on the money issue, the money episode.
The money issue.
The finance episode that we had. That's a big one.
Pressure.
Pressure from worrying about money, especially if you're the sole breadwinner in the household, which I know a lot of freelancers are, especially if they've got families and their partner is, the home. What do you call it? The home, not the homemaker. They look after the family. Is what I'm saying. So they don't bring in any quids. That's a heavy weight to bear. Providing, make sure you can always provide. That's the most important thing, whilst also running the business, whilst also keeping the business afloat in terms of, like we spoke about, expenses for businesses as well. But also pressure of performing well, finding the work, comparing yourself to others. I guess there's imposter syndrome as well. You don't get that because you're massively arrogant. So it's there's so many different facets to pressure, isn't there? I think it can come from all angles and also from places that you least expect as well.
Yeah, when you were saying that list, isn't it unbelievable that businesses run at all? Like, there's a lot. And it's not really surprising that people feel quite overwhelmed at some points. Because you just listed everything there. It's a lot to sort of take in. Plus have...
That was just the headline stuff as well. That was just come to mind.
Exactly, yeah, there's probably a lot more. Plus, of course, everything that goes on with life outside of your business too.
And that can affect the business. If you've got something going on in your personal life.
Hugely, yeah.
It affects your performance, focus, everything.
So how do you... I would agree with all that.
Thank you.
I think that's a really good starting point. What would you... I've never said that on the... Oh, no. How do I disagree?
I don't know how to deal with compliments. I have to give one back.
All right. I think what you said is a load of shit. And I think you're weak. How about that? Is that better?
That's another one. How to deal with feedback.
It's writing itself, this one, isn't it?
Feedback like that.
Yeah. Well, yes. That's a massive thing. Yeah. Especially, usually, I've found that not when you least expect it, but when you least need it, bad feedback comes in. When everything's going well and, the business and your life is just flowing, maybe you do get that feedback, but everything is fine around it, so you kind of brush it off.
Just on that, I've never had bad feedback.
Of course, no. Okay, yeah. So pressure can affect things, definitely. How do you? So, two-pronged question. How do you manage it now? And the pressure and the sort of potentially the mental health worries around that, anxiety and things.
Yeah.
And has that changed over the years?
It has changed. I'm much more relaxed now, believe it or not, given our car journeys on the way to the podcast. Should have seen me before, mate. It was awful. When I first started my business, I felt the weight because I'd come from a position where we were both, me and my girlfriend, both full-time employed with quite good jobs, to then she hang on, we got pregnant.
Oh.
Could have gone down a different route of pressure there. And then, so she stopped working and her money gradually goes down. And then when my son was 2, I lost my job. And I was like, well, I don't really want to go straight back into something I am not enjoying, or that gives me no fulfillment. That's another thing that affects mental health in work as well. If you don't get any personal enjoyment or fulfillment from your career, you have to rely on things outside of work to bring you the good times, which could go in all different directions. So there was a lot of pressure for me to either go straight to another job, because I've got a young child now and I am the breadwinner, like we were talking about. So I found that very, very difficult. And at the beginning of my business, I was working seemingly every hour that I could put into that business. And the more you try and sustain that, the less efficient and effective and focused you become. So it actually has the opposite effect. You know, you might be working all the hours, but the output will just end up going that way. I should have done it like that so the camera could see. And how did I deal with that? I think it's different if it happens at the beginning of the business, because what helped was starting to get the work, starting to make progress in the business. And then the weight is considerably lighter when you're making money, because at the beginning I was living off of redundancy money, but always watching that pot get smaller every month. And compare that to now. So I'm in a much better position with the business. I don't need to worry about, not at all, but the financial side of it isn't a worry like at the beginning, because I didn't have any money coming in. Ways that I learned to deal with it were, or to calm myself down. Because I have a history of anxiety and depression. Oh, this is being very open, isn't it? Anxiety and depression. So ways of dealing with it in the past would be, you've heard of drugs.
I have heard of drugs.
I mean, prescription drugs.
I've heard of all types of drugs.
Or always, one way of dealing with all that is always leaning into joking about it, which I'm I'm defaulting to now.
Black humour. Yeah.
But one thing that really, really helped was having a fixed morning routine, which we've spoken about loads of times. I don't really do it as much now because my mental space has shifted a lot since I've grown as a person and as a business. But having that time in the morning, knowing exactly what I was going to be doing in the morning. So get up, you get ready, you do a bit of meditation, a bit of visualization, some reading, a little bit of exercise, and then you're ready for that day. You've always got that chunk of time for yourself, and it sets you up because you're doing sort of meaningful things, which puts you in that frame of mind to do meaningful work rather than just flicking about between little jobs that aren't going to help, which I think was a lot of the time, that's what I was doing. Have I answered the question?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm rambling quite.
Well, no. So that's what you did at the start, but you don't feel the need to do that so much because, well, I think it comes back to the original point of pressure. You're just feeling less pressure now. And with less pressure, you're just a bit more nimble in all parts of your life, right?
Winning the lottery helped.
Yeah. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to work.
I think another huge thing that helped, and we've spoken about this on a previous episode, was the support network. At the beginning of my business, I wasn't networking because I thought everyone was my enemy. That's the background I'd come from in corporate.
Yeah.
Was you go and fight everyone else for the same job. So I took that on board and thought, well, I'm just not going to talk to anybody at all and just audition for work. And I realise now that was a massive mistake, because as soon as I started talking to other people, that lightens the load because you're literally talking to people and, of course, talking is important.
Well, I had a call a couple of days ago with a guy who is the very start of his journey, and it was contact that said, "Oh, would you mind having a chat with him?" Just because he's going through a bit of a rough time. So I didn't know this guy, but we had a really good sort of chat about. He just wanted to sort of pick my brains really, and I said, "Well, there's not too much to pick, but pick away." But he is really nice. This morning, he just sent me an email saying, "Thanks so much for the chat. It was a real eureka moment because there was a part of the conversation where I was talking about how I got started, and the first 2 or 3 years of my business, I was working full time, and I just had it as a side business with the aim to grow it." And he said, "Oh, that's really interesting because I thought," and this is what he was saying, "I thought that was sort of failing, because if what's pushed out there is so much, the perception that you should just follow your passions and the business follows. And you do anything other than that, that's not following your passion. And, you should just get rid of that 9-to-5 job and burn your bridges and all that." And then he was kind of, I saw him working it all out. He goes, "Oh, and also I've had a friend who just did that. And he started his business, and then another friend got made redundant and was living off his redundancy for 2 years. So effectively, and then it suddenly dawned on him that there is another way that you can actually start your business with less pressure, and it's not failing. It's just another way of doing it, basically. And he's only had that conversation with me. Because he's speaking to people in his area and it's lightening the load.
Yeah.
So I think that's massive. That's and the more conversations you have with other people, you realise, oh, okay, everything that I'm going through, everybody in this room has probably been through and has come out the other side, or not.
And if they're not, they will probably still have a bit of a listen.
Yeah. And if not, you can help them if you have as well. So
that's what I was going to say. It's not just about, because it's very difficult sometimes if you're in that position of, anxiety or depression or whatever it is, to think, I've got that person to talk to. Even if when you're outside of that state, you do know that they're there as a friend or a colleague or whatever to talk to. When you're in that zone of spiraling, it's difficult to think that person will listen to me.
Yeah.
Because you're probably thinking, why do they want to listen to me?
Yeah.
It's almost not self-indulgent, but I don't want to make it all about me.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, always make sure who you're talking to is okay. Are you all right, by the way?
Am I?
How are you feeling?
I'm all right.
Good. But ask twice, how are you really feeling?
Really? That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah.
We know now.
Exactly. I mean, we've recently come from shooting this week, Baton Hope, which is of course all about.
Nikki was doing that as well.
Nikki was doing all about. Yeah, it's amazing. So it's and that's all about raising awareness of people going through some tough times and people that have been affected by suicide, and that's the sort of key message. It is interesting though. You said that if you're in a really low state and you've got people there, but your mind is so low that actually it's even more difficult to talk because you can think, well, I don't want to bring them down. So it's a very easy thing to sort of suggest, we'll just talk, reach out. But when you're that low, difficult thing to do.
So that's when I guess you have to have, I don't like the term, but you have to have a toolbox of things that you can do to help yourself as well. So like I said about the morning routine, that really, really helped to just reframe and refocus and lift your, try not to sound too wanky, I think is the word.
That's the academic
to lift your spirit up,
yeah,
and just make yourself feel better, because those having that structure and
I think that's the key word, structure, because if you've got, and this is going to sound wanky too, but if you've got an anchor for the day, and that could be like the morning routine, that could be something you like doing at lunchtime, that whatever happens around that, you get that done. That's a huge tick in the box for your mental health. That, well, whatever happens, I did that, and then I'll do that again tomorrow. And then you start to potentially build a bit of consistency and building blocks.
And that's something that someone from the group suggested. We mentioned her in the last episode. I think Liz Drury said that if you can't get up and start work straight away, but you want to start the day and feel like you've accomplished something, like you do chess puzzles.
Yeah. With a coffee, there's complete silence around me before everybody gets up. And it's just a way to sort of just wake up in my own way. Yeah.
And Liz was saying she plays an instrument in the morning.
Yes.
Does a bit of, not learning, sure, like practice, rehearsal sort of thing. And she says that gives her a great sense of having achieved something very early on in the day.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not work, but she still has that momentum built from that, I guess.
Yeah.
So you don't have to get up and just start working straight away. Just have something that has a sense of accomplishment and achievement at the end.
Yeah. And you can, if you tick that off early, it's a free will.
Like Nikki was saying earlier, exercise in the morning.
Yeah. It can be anything, couldn't it?
Great one.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. So we've got, that's flown by. We're going to wrap up in a minute. Okay.
There was something else I was going to try and link to this, I think, that came up in a discussion the other day, is, oh, damn it. I led into it for too long.
Amazing.
And now it's gone. You can edit this bit, can't you?
No, I'm going to absolutely keep this in.
It's just slowly coming.
It's going to be the really slow pushing.
It was about,
face. You got it?
just if you're feeling the pressure of, I'm not making enough money, something's not working. And rather than trying to fit in more and more and more of the same things that you're doing, which will create more pressure to try and squeeze that in. For example, if you're a voice actor, I'll just choose what I do. Say, for example, I'm doing 5 auditions in a day and I'm not making any money. I think, okay, I'll do 20 auditions in a day. If I'm still not making any money, I'll do 50 auditions in a day.
Yeah.
And it's still not working. Change what you're doing.
Yeah.
You'll have I know it sounds defeatist, but if it's not working, just try something different, because it's about the release of that pressure from that. Right, I'm not going to do that anymore. That feels amazing. Can forget about that. I'll try, I don't know what we're talking about, social media or really hitting that hard, something like that.
Yeah.
A new perspective, a new angle.
Yeah.
Is like a reset of the mind.
I love that. Glad you remembered it. Yeah.
We got there.
We got there. Right. Well, I think this is going to be a subject that we return to lots and lots of times, because it's something that's always changing within our businesses, isn't it? So, and our lives. Cheers, mate.
Didn't ask how I was feeling, though.
That's because I'm, I care, mate.